Okay, I'm going to tell you, I did something yesterday and I'm going to share it with you guys, and I'm going to share why I did it, what I did, in hopes that you will understand. First of all, I want to tell you, being pro se, I've been pro se since the 80s. And, you know, the courts has not been friendly with pro se people. Never have, and I don't think they ever will. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, it's a difference in when you first become a pro se. When you're a rookie pro se, I'm going to tell you something. The judge is nice. The courts is nice. The defendants is nice. The defendant's attorney is nice. You know, they always want to help do things. You know, they want to, I'll draft it up and all of that. And you find yourself being nice to them and courteous. And they be so nice all the way up until they dismiss your case. And you say, well, why they do that? Because, you know what? They play on your ignorance. They play on ignorance and you not knowing the system. It's a difference in knowing the law and being skillful at it. That's why a lot of pro se people fail. I failed a lot of cases. But, you know, a lot of things, the difference that I do is that I love reading law cases. I love them. It doesn't have to relate to my case at that certain time, but I love it. I use my trusty books. I have books, notebooks that I write cases in, and I use tabs. And so somebody tell me, oh, you know, I got a product. Yeah, I have sued for product. What is it? Product liability. I won that case. I've sued for different types of things because, you know, that's your First Amendment right. And then when I talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you about what Project 2025 is gonna do to pro se people. But I wanna talk to you about that. So over the years, as I become, you know, the courts always tell you, you need to know the rules. You know, we don't excuse you for when you need to know the rules. But when you do learn the rules, like me, I become seasonal. I'm called what you call an experienced pro se litigant. And then I'm gonna tell you how that affects. When you know the law, but you don't know how to do it, they play on that because I'm gonna tell you something. Lawyers just don't go to school to practice law. Please, everybody think that they just go to school to learn law. No. They have to go to what they call public speaking. They have to take things like public speaking. They have to know how to be able to handle you. They take classes for that. Because I know some lawyers, and I have been privileged to go to some of these classes, to be able to attend and go as a guest. And that's how I have been learning how to, use what you need to do. Lawyers do not play checkers. They play chess. The strategy is to win, especially from a pro se litigant. It's an embarrassment if they have to settle or win against a pro se litigant. Some of these judges were attorneys. No, I take that back. All the judges were once an attorney. They practice law. Some practice environmental law. Most of them practice civil rights. They come from the FBI. They come from the Justice Department, or they came from the FBI. Especially, we talking about federal level. Now, the federal courts are familiar with state courts violating pro se litigants' rights. They familiar with it. That's why if you look in most cases that they talk about when state law violate federal law. But what about when federal law judges violate federal law? Well, the court says that they are immune. Even if they did nothing, if they did it intentionally, they are immune. Unless they break the Constitution. Unless they break the Constitution. Well, I had a case. I had two. I had I sued Equifax. I sued Equifax because I was part of the 147 million consumers whose data was hijacked or stolen, identity or hacked. And the difference was that although they said that them 147 million was hacked, and for some reason somebody took my maiden name and started obtaining credit, and it became harder for me to prove who I was because I was no longer in that maiden name. I was in my married name. And I sent them documentation. Hey, I was this person, birth certificate. Hey, I was this person. Now I'm this person. I didn't get this credit. Well, by law, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Equifax was supposed to delete that credit, put an alert on my maiden name, and so that it wouldn't be attached to my married name. Well, they didn't. They just merged them together, because you got to realize something. It's hard. They said that it's hard for a black person to get their credit straight versus other our counterparts. So now I can't identify myself. So here I am. I applied for a car loan and dealership getting ready to call the police because they thinking I'm scam. I'm using some identity theft. That I'm in this name, but I'm showing this name. So I had to go through that. Couldn't get residence on the base because government says that I was committing identity theft. So I sued Equifax. I called the settlement administration. I said, "Hey, are y'all selling for actual damages or just damages?" She said, "Just damages." So I sued for actual damages and punitive damages. Same Judge Thomas Thrash, who was over the Equifax, was hearing my case. He was also hearing other people's cases who was talking about the settlement in general. I was just talking about how damages apply to me. Now keep in mind I have to be, in order for me to be able to win, I had to piggyback off of that case. I had to review that case so well that I apply it to my case. And that's what I did. They didn't have to do a credit report. They didn't pull nobody's credit report. But then this is where Equifax went off. When they hired an attorney, the attorney called me. Now here I am. The breach bit was in 2017. Here it is, 2020. Pandemic is going on and oh my goodness. I mean, I couldn't even get on somebody's house. I couldn't do nothing because I got identity theft. The lawyer is going to tell me, I'll give you $1,000 if you dismiss this case against Equifax. That was less than what the settlement people say. Oh, by the way, the settlement people only gave so many people I spent over $4,000 trying to clear my credit. They only gave me a check for $34.58. So that settlement was a joke. It wasn't designed for us to get paid. It was designed for somebody to make a quick buck. And they made a quick buck off of our suffering. So anyway, I started calling Equifax back because I'm trying to get my credit straight. Keep in mind, I'm trying. And they tell me now they can't talk to me no more. They got to send it to a credit specialist. which was the lawyers. Lawyers had my credit. They changed my username, they changed my password, and they started fiddling with my credit. Said that they had a legal right, even though I know that they're not under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They don't have an authorized being to do that, but they did it. They did it and messed up my credit. Then when I threatened to sue them, they turned around. Oh, I sued them. And when I turned around, they gave it back to They gave it back to Equifax. Equifax, at this point, I really couldn't identify myself, because at this point they put 10 years worth of stuff on my credit. So I didn't know my own phone number. It's been 10 years. How many people know? I very seldom know my phone number. This is part one. Part two finna come next.